All right, guys, welcome back to sportsbookreview.com. I am joined once again by our very own Joe Gavazzi, and he's presenting part 2 of his 8-part series, Getting Out of Your Head. Now, this piece touches upon things that you can do in your life and in your betting life to better assist you in making the informed plays.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Matt. And I know from talking with you off air about this and talking with a number of other guys who bet sports, it's so easy for us to talk about the left brain thinking, what it takes to analyze the games. But when we go to the right brain thinking and begin to think about feelings and how that influences the outcome, well, it becomes a little tougher. And in this article about eliminating expectations, we got to get touchy-feely again with you guys and talk about how eliminating expectations can get you out of your head and get you back into that win column. What do you think what happens, Matt, when you don't meet an expectation?
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, disappointment, depending on sort of the what expectation that is, but especially as it pertains to sports betting, expectations that do not fulfill themselves end up losing me money, which in turn bodes very negative feelings for me, to be honest.
Well, that's exactly right. It's a downward spiral of negative emotions. From a psychological point of view, the expectations that are unmet do, as you point out, lead to serious disappointment. Eventually, they lead to resentment, frustration, often blame, criticism, and almost always eventually anger. And when you become angry or have any of these negative emotions, you begin to operate above the think line and you do not think clearly. And we must take a step back at that time, because it's when we begin to operate above the think line that in our sports betting lives, we begin to do things like chase. When we become so enraged at the fact that we're losing, either a group of close bets or perhaps by our own handicapping miscues, we want to get that money back and get that money back now. That's chasing, and that is the way that 98% of sports bettors become losers for life. What we want you to do now is to find a way to cure that ill. Get yourself into present moment thinking. Matt, how would you go about doing that?
Oh man, I just take a deep breath and think about all the things that are happening to me right now, and honestly, how they're sort of out of my control at this point. The pick's laid out, it's already done for. So, what is worrying about it change? Nothing.
Well, that's exactly right. But in order to fulfill that, we have to go to our present moment thinking. And that means that we have to think only about the one controllable moment that we have in our life, and that is now, the present moment of now. When you control the moment of now, you control your entire life. And stringing together those present moments of now lead to a happier, healthier, mentally, physically, and emotional life. What you want to do is put out the thoughts of the past, which result in guilt, put out the thoughts of the future, which result in fear and anxiety, and only concentrate on the one controllable moment that you have, the moment of now. It is then when your thinking is at full clarity and you can make rationally informed choices about your next sports bet. So focus on the moment of now, eliminate your guilt, eliminate your anxiety, and find the clarity of your thinking, certainly being a great help to you in making your next sports bet.
Absolutely, guys. And those rational choices is exactly what this is all about. We're here to make money. Don't let your emotions trump you. Don't let your expectations get too high. Look, we all know, we see those guys out there. I'm winning 70%, I'm winning 80%. They're not. Don't get caught up in that, right?
That's absolutely right, Matt. And boy, that's just a prime example how it can happen. When you set yourself something up for something like that, you think that a guy out there has promised you 70 or 80%, and you go in with those kind of expectations, you're just setting yourself up for the disappointment. The same way as if you've personally had a great winning streak. We all do. But when you think you'll never have another losing streak and your expectations are win, 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 you will indeed be disappointed. We'll talk about that further in the next articles in this series. Until then, I want you to get out of your head and back into the winning column.